What's going on, YouTube? You live in tune with Mike the Realist. Y'all already know what's going on by the title. We're finna react to some of this stuff that's going on with Gunna. I'm really interested in figuring out what's going on with some of this stuff with Gunna. So far the information that I have been hearing is that he's a free man. You know what I'm saying? So I was happy about that, you know what I'm saying, knowing that he's a free man and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, that's cool. That's definitely cool. That's so graciously. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I know the whole YSL team was, you feel me, locked up. You feel me? They was locked down. They was locked down and stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, cool. So they most definitely with him. But I started pivoting. I'm like, hold on, wait. I ended up finding out that he only out. And there's been speculations and stuff like that saying that, you know, he snitched and stuff like that. So, you know what I'm saying? But that's kind of weird knowing that he the only one out. You know what I'm saying? Right now. And they all under the same act. You know what I'm saying? It's a RICO. So they got the whole YSL. You know what I'm saying? They basically, what the information that I was told, that it's a RICO, you know what I'm saying? So they under the feds, they all under the same thing. So if I'm not mistaken, Gunna, he got lesser charges than anything. They really looking at kind of Young Thug as like the top of the charts over basically everything. But I did see that Gunna, he not really like facing really no big charges like Thug and nothing like that. Probably charges what he is sitting there for like what, probably like 3 to 5 years. But really trying to figure out what's going on. I ain't gonna hold y'all time up though. You feel me? Like, comment, subscribe, show love to the channel. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it.
YSL as a gang must win. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes. People look at the court of law and only see black and white, and they're gonna call Gunna Snitch.
Because YSL is in fact the corporation tax ID number has received real legal transactions. They needed that piece, that cooperate to identify that entity as a gang.
What's good, Rizzle fam? We weren't sure about it in the beginning, but now it's official. Gunna definitely snitched, and that's why he's got released from prison. Gunna finally broke the silence and told on Thugger and the YSL folks.
Man, listen, don't give it to me like that, Gunna. Don't give it to me like that, Gunna, man. Don't do that. Don't give it to me like that.
Appeared in front of a judge a few days ago and made a statement along with his legal representatives. After that, he walked out a free man. This news came as a huge surprise, mostly because people thought that Gunna would never snitch under any circumstances, but it looks like it happened after all. However, he's not in the clear just yet. He's got a couple of things to take care of. We finally have something worth calling a big development in the YSL RICO case that's been going on since May of 2022. We talked about it a lot, but in case you missed it, earlier this year, the Young Slime Life, or Young Stoner Life group from ATL was hit with a pretty big RICO case. It turns out this group is more than just a record label. Rather, they're heavily involved in illegal activities that are a threat to the community. All the lyrics that we heard from Thugger about crime and street life, well, it just may be true. He's really about that life. More than 20 people got slipped.
See, man, people really gotta watch what they put in their music and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they be watching them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they watching them. You putting all of that federal stuff in your music. You know what I'm saying? They gonna really see if you really living like that, or if you know what I'm saying, if you just talking, or if you really living like that, they gonna know. And eventually that stuff catch up with you. So it's very important that you moving strategically. You know what I'm saying? You want to move strategic.
And both Gunna and Young Thug were among them. They were all locked up pretty tight and denied bond several times. The prosecutors made heavy-duty cases against them. It seemed like they were bound to...
I definitely remember when they denied they bond a couple of times. That was pretty crazy. They didn't want them out at all.
Prosecutors made heavy-duty cases against them. It seemed like they were bound to spend at least the near future behind bars. But it looks like one of the YSL boys has other plans. See, Gunna decided he wanted out, so he appeared in front of a court and took the so-called Alford plea, which allows a person to maintain innocence while acknowledging that it's in his best interest to plead guilty. He also gave an official statement where he claimed that...
Hold on, what?
It's in his best interest to plead guilty. He also gave an official statement where he claimed that he didn't snitch which allows a person to maintain innocence while...
Let me rewind that back real quick. Hold on.
Looks like one of the YSL boys has other plans. See, Gunna decided he wanted out, so he appeared in front of a court and took the so-called Alford plea, which allows a person to...
He took a Alford plea. Okay.
maintain innocence while acknowledging that it's in his best interest to plead guilty. He also...
So he pertains innocent, but it's his knowledge to plead guilty. It makes sense for him to plead.
Gave an official statement where he claimed that he didn't snitch on anyone from the YSL team. Gunna said to the official...
What?
Gave an official statement where he claimed that he didn't snitch on anyone from the YSL team. Gunna said to the officials, "While I have agreed to always be truthful, I want to make it perfectly clear that I have not made any statements, have not been interviewed, have not cooperated, have not agreed to testify or be a witness for or against any party in the case, and have absolutely no mention of being involved in the trial process in any way." But that's not the whole truth. Gunna said a couple more things while he was talking to the judge. Here's what he said once he was asked about it.
YSL is a music label and a game, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the game.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh no.
Present when law
Oh
enforcement
no.
officers stop-
Oh no. Oh no, man. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, man. Oh no, bro. You can't be serious right now, bro. You can't be serious right now, bro. You in violation. You in violation. You know what I'm saying? What you mean? What you mean you ain't snitch? They said that he came out and said that he didn't make any statements. He didn't do none of that. What you mean that you didn't snitch? You snitching right now.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law
Is YSL is a music label and a gang, and you have personal knowledge of members or associates of YSL have been committed crimes as a gang. He said, "Yes, ma'am." Then after that, she asks, "You were present when law enforcement officers stopped the vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams."
officers stopped the vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocodone, methamphetamines, and a firearm
Were hydrocodone, okay,
were recovered. These
and a
items
firearm
did not
were
belong to you.
recovered. These items did not belong to you.
At the very end of his...
He said yes. But you not snitching. You literally just admitted that there were drugs and stuff like that found, and it wasn't yours. You know what I'm saying? As well as admitting that YSL is a gang. You admitted that YSL is a gang. They want to try to figure out, and they want to know if YSL, they want to try to consider it as a gang.
statement. He was asked if he also regrets the fact that he got misguided as an artist by YSL, and he said that was true.
And do you acknowledge the following statement? I recognize, accept, and deeply regret that my talent and music indirectly furthered YSL the gang to the detriment of my community. YSL as a gang must end. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes.
Well,
Whoa. Okay, so the lady asked him, she said, "And do you acknowledge the following statement? Accept and deeply regret that my talent and music indirectly furthered YSL the gang to the detriment of my community. YSL as a gang must end." He said to that following question, yes.
Must end. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes.
well, if that ain't snitching, then what in the world is?
What?
Maybe he...
If that's not, let me know right now down below in the comment section down below. If that's not snitching, what is snitching? Let me know.
wouldn't call out names, but he sure as hell confirmed that almost all of the suspicions that were brought up on these last few months by the prosecutor were not only reasonable, but close to the truth. This didn't sit well with all the YSL fans out there. If you ask them, Gunna's a snitch, and there's no way you can convince them otherwise. You have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the gang? Yes, ma'am. And what they got telling in 4K? Now this is snitching at its finest. But that's not all when it comes to Gunna's situation. There's still a couple of things that Gunna has to do, even though he's out of prison. Steve Sadow, his attorney, who's been involved in cases for famous rappers such as T.I. before, told us a little bit more about the legal implications of Gunna's case. In an email that he wrote to the press, Steve said that Gunna's got 5 years in jail, 350 hours of speaking against gang activity, and he also has to serve 500 hours of community service.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Because even though he admitted to knowing certain information, it's still not over with. All right. So even though he admitted to knowing this and all of this stuff, everything's still not over with. Right now, it says that he's facing 5 years of jail, 350 hours of speaking against gang activity.
50 hours of speaking against gang activity, and he also has to serve 500 hours of community service.
He has 500 hours of community service.
On top of that, if he's found with a burner on him, his suspended sentence may be revoked. A lesser known fact, but also...
Okay, so if they find something on him, then he'll be back in there.
One important one is that Walter Murphy, the alleged co-founder of YSL, also pleaded guilty. He got out one day before Gunna because he also made a deal with the feds. The rest of the YSL boys, including Young Thug, are still locked up. In fact, things are looking even more ugly for Thug.
Hold on real quick.
He got out one day before Gunna because he also made a deal with the feds.
What? He said he was one of the top people though.
YSL also pleaded guilty. He got out one day before.
Let me see.
A lesser known fact, but also an important one, is that Walter Murphy, the alleged co-founder of YSL, also pleaded guilty. He got out one day before Gunna.
A co-founder of YSL ended up getting out a day after Gunna, because he apparently made a deal as well.
Because he also made a deal with the feds.
So it's not looking good for Young Thug at all. They're you got Gunna as well as me now knowing that this other CEO, one of the other CEOs of YSL, is cooperating. You know, it's not really looking good at all for Young Thug at all.
The rest of the YSL boys, including Young Thug, are still locked up. In fact, things are looking even more ugly for Thugger now, since there's also been...
And the rest of them as well, I was brought to knowledge as well that it's over 20 of them all together locked up with YSL.
Recent development.
It's the whole YSL.
Case, and not a good one either. He got slammed with yet another charge. While Gunna was out walking the streets, Thugger got slammed with charges for street racing, reckless driving, and speeding. Authorities say that these charges come in from an incident that took place last year on May 21st, 2021. Thug was driving a car at 120 miles per hour and he got caught. You ask his lawyer, Brian Steele, the fact that he got those charges coming in right now, amidst all the other charges that are already tied to his name, is nothing but wrong to it. In one of his press statements, Thugger's lawyer said, as of 2 weeks ago, that case was being resolved with a seatbelt violation. Today, now it's indicted in the Fulton County Superior Court. He's being wronged by our system. And not just the system, but apparently by his day one homies too. Gunna did him wrong, and there is almost no denying that Gunna being released and admitting YSL to have committed crimes in front of a court is going to make Thugger's case so much harder to beat. Not only that, but he also said that the drugs and firearm that were found in the car in which Thugger and Gunna got pulled over weren't his. And if they weren't his, well, since there were no other people in the car, that only means one thing. Thugger is to blame. It's already widely believed.
Like, make it make some type of kind of sense. Make it make some type of kind of sense. It's both of y'all in the car. You admitting, which we just saying him admitting that wasn't, he just said that wasn't his firearm. It's only y'all two in the car. So if it ain't your firearm, then who else is it? It's Thugs. You know what I'm saying? So you saying that you're saying that you're not snitching because of you're not giving any names, but come on now, you can put the pieces to the puzzle and understand what you understand it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to give any names. You know what I'm saying? Snitching is snitching. You don't have to give names. You know what I'm saying? You just said everything it is that they need to know. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole RICO act. So they charging the whole YSL all together. It's everything's together. So you don't have to snitch. You snitching on everybody. You know what I'm saying? You don't, what you mean? You don't have to get names. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to get names. You cooperate. You're saying that you were there when certain activity was going on. You've admitted to that. You've admitted to YSL being a gang. They want YSL to be a gang. You've admitted all of that. You've admitted to knowing certain information and being aware of certain information that was going on. And you've admitted to cooperate. What do you mean? If this isn't snitching, then if this ain't snitching, then I weigh a clean 120 pounds.
Gunna messed up big time with making this plea. He's going to be judged by the community no matter what his next move is. DJ Ack recognized this immediately. That's why he said during one of his Twitch stream sessions,
People look at the court of law and only see black and white, and they're gonna call Gunna Snitch. I'll tell you this right now. This deal that he took, which again I am not in no way, shape, or form saying he's cooperating, but the ignorance of the streets is gonna say he's cooperating.
And he's got a strong point. Now, the judge is starting to believe every single word that the prosecutor's side has to say. They just got one of their leading members to confirm in front of court, swearing that he's telling the truth, that YSL is more than just a record label. They're a street gang that conducts criminal activities. How can that look good? It can't. You don't have to call out names in order to make things go south. Generally speaking, people believe that the prosecutors got what they wanted by letting Gunna go. They wouldn't be letting him go if they didn't get what they wanted by doing so. Even without saying anything about anyone, him pleading guilty is going to be huge in court. Anyone thinking the prosecutors didn't get what they wanted before letting Gunna go is naive. One of the people who's always tuned into this type of news is Wack 100. But he too wasn't surprised once he found out that Gunna took a plea. He already knew that.
And see, Wack 100 though, Wack 100 keeps it real. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people don't like him, you know what I'm saying? But he definitely be talking though. He definitely be talking his stuff.
Always tuned into this type of news is Wack 100. But he too wasn't surprised once he found out that Gunna took a plea. He already knew that Gunna ain't built like Thugger or some of the other street dudes.
But I mean, Gunna's not like that. And he's not that type of guy either. Involved with something that
What? Wack 100 say, he say Gunna not like that for real. He say he don't, you know what I'm saying? Wack say, he say, but I said Gunna's not like that. He's not that type of guy that would get involved in that type of and he was caught up with association.
guilty through association and affiliation. You know how that goes, right?
Wack also thinks that Gunna did way more than what is necessary to bring down the whole YSL gang.
He has not told them this dude shot this dude, kicked this dude, robbed this dude. But what he did do was give them that piece that they needed, because YSL is in fact the corporation tax ID number that received real legal.
Okay, so Wack 100, he's saying basically he did not told them this dude killed this dude. You feel me? Like, he didn't give information saying that they caught this body, this dude, this particular person at YSL did this to another particular person and killed this particular person. But like he said, what he did do was he gave them that piece that they needed, because YSL is in fact a corporation and we see legal transactions. We see illegal transactions.
They needed that piece, that cooperate to identify that entity.
They needed that piece to identify YSL to identify YSL as a gang, all right? So they needed that to identify YSL as a gang. They just needed that piece, which he's admitting, which he's doing.
The gang.
Wack compared this situation to what we got going on with the YSL to that of the Gambino family. In that RICO case, it was similar to what we have now, because no particular names have been ratted out by the people who took the stand, yet the whole family went down as a result. Since this is still an ongoing case, we cannot really say what's going to happen with Thugger or the whole YSL gang, but what we can say is that this probably ain't going to sit well with the relationship that Gunna had with the rest of that YSL crew. If the plea that he took turns out to be crucial in the beginning of the YSL downfall, everyone's going to say that Gunna was the link or the catalyst to that happening. But what y'all think? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video, make sure to check this next one out. Click that like and subscribe button. As always, remember to keep it real.
All right, y'all. So, I mean, like they said, it's just really gonna go down like that. Even though he really didn't give out any specific names or say anything, the whole YSL is going down. They got people, they got people cooperating that's in YSL with them. So they gonna get all of that information down, and it's not really looking too good for Thug at all. I doubt, I doubt that they're doing this. I doubt that they have like a reason for why Gunna is doing this. Like why he's getting on the stand and basically snitching. Like what's the reason? Like, what's that gonna do for the whole YSL? And I really don't think that that's not gonna do anything for YSL. That's just Gunna in particular. I think once he got in, it started to become, I guess, every man for himself. But Young Thug is facing way more charges than way more stuff than Thug, because they are listing Thug as basically the top, basically one of the leaders. They charge him with the leaders up at the top. And they're using all different kinds of his music as well to against him. They're using music and all different kinds of evidence. I know they tapped into his phone as well. They're using all of that stuff as well. So, he has other charges as well outside of this YSL stuff that they brought up as well, like him driving and speeding and all kinds of stuff. So, he has other charges as well on top of that. So it's really not looking too good for Young Thug, man. This is crazy. I wouldn't have never pictured this on anybody, but with Gunna though, even though you're saying that you're not snitching because you didn't give exact names and stuff like that, it's a RICO. You know what I'm saying? So you're telling them everything that they need to know. It's a RICO. They're charging the whole YSL all together. You're telling them what they need to know. I don't understand. How is that not being a snitch? You're cooperating, and you're saying that you were there during certain events. You're saying that certain things. You're cooperating, and you're giving them what they want to hear. So if you ask me, a lot of people they talk bad about snitches and stuff like that, but I really haven't seen this out. I really haven't seen this. Gunna, not too many people talk about Gunna like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, not too many people talk about the snitching situation with Gunna, but a lot of people talked about, usually when rappers snitch, like, it goes mainstream everywhere. It just goes everywhere. But with this particular situation, it actually kind of really didn't go too far. Like, I didn't hear too many people talking about it. But, like when it came down to the 6ix9ine situation and all of that stuff, everybody clowned him, down him, memed him, joked about him. But when it came down to this, nobody's really talking about it, So I'm just saying, I'm not saying everybody should be talking about it, but, I don't think that this is going to be good, or this is going to be good on, the image that Gunna put out there. I don't really think that that's good on his image. When you put a certain image out there, people expect certain things from out of you once you put that image out there, because that's what you put out there. This is definitely outside of the image that he put out there, but like I said, if you aren't really like that, then, don't be something that that, you aren't. Young Thug really put Gunna in a situation, like he really put him in a situation where he can live, you know what I'm saying, where he'll be straight, where his family will be straight, you know what I'm saying. Like, he really put him on. Young Thug really put Gunna on. So to be honest, that's just kind of how it go, you know what I'm saying. Like, he put him on, so you kind of just gotta thug it out, and you ain't got no choice but to just stick beside whatever that's going on. Like, he put you on, you know what I'm saying. Like, he did all of this stuff for you, and I'm saying? He the reason why you where you at. Like, let's just be honest. It's YSL. It's him. You know what I'm saying? He put him in that position. He put Gunna in that position. So he the reason why people straight, his family straight, his kids straight, you know what I'm saying? So you got to return that favor, you know what I'm saying, and just do whatever it is that you got to do. But you definitely shouldn't be ratting, you know what I'm saying? So, you feel me? I don't want to make this no long video or nothing, but drop down below anything else y'all think I should react to, you know what I'm saying? It's Mike the Realist. Like, comment, subscribe, show love to the channel. Mike the Realist, checking out.